Did you hit a home run by signing Couture? I mean, obviously for us it's a great story with him coming home, but he's also a guy who's, won Grey Cups, starter, very good at what he does.
Championship level football, that's the level we have to get to, and having a guy like Michael puts us in that right direction. Being a local guy, being a player that plays at a high level, that's all. That's what we were looking for. Being local is a good addition to it. But he's a guy we've been wanting to sign for a couple of years, and we were grateful that this time it was able to work out.
Rick just talked about the fact that it's a bonus to have West Coast guys here. And I remember when Pat Quinn and the Canucks with their resurgence, he wanted to bring in that local flavor. When you hear Michael talk about the fact that he grew up in the stands, he was a season ticket holder, would rush down to the field to slap hands with players, it's got to add a little extra to the team.
Yeah, I mean, bonus is a good word, but the reality is that I love building within this organization, having local guys, meeting guys, West Coast guys, Seattle, California, and especially guys that play in the Lower Mainland. And just what a great addition to the football team. Not only his position, but just everything else that comes with it.
One of the things, too, when you talk about those local guys, and especially when you talk to the players, way more accountability, always playing in front of family, friends, and all that stuff as well, that kind of an added bonus, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, it adds all to it. Even having a guy like Big Play VA, having his family at each game means something. Michael is going to have his, family at every game, not just the games that, he plays at BC Place, so as an opponent. So that's all part of it. Building football in the province of British Columbia means you have to bring in local talent, which, a guy like Michael's, a great addition to our, already local guys we have.
How do you see the offensive line shaping up with him as one of your anchors, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a good offensive line. I mean, our leader is still Sook. He's, he remained another local guy. I think the complementary of having a guy like Michael and the two anchors that we've had the last couple of years. I know we've lost an offensive lineman, but we still have a core group that have played within that group. So now we'll just have to find the best 5 guys, and we will, and move forward.
Neil, talk to us about some of the work that you guys did leading up to today, some of the extensions that you did to keep guys here, and not just for next season, but at least 2 years into the future here.
Yeah, we feel we have a good core group of players, and that all takes time to get everyone organized and still live within the means of the Canadian Football League with our salary cap and everything else. So we put a lot of time in bringing back the core group that we like, and we feel that this group is a good group. We were able to win with them, and I think we felt that keeping as many guys as we could in the forefront will just lead us in the right direction.
Did you prioritize your offensive line for a couple reasons? One, because you wanted to make it better, but also two, Vernon's a little bit different than Nathan in terms of Nathan got rid of the ball so quick. I think Vernon takes a little bit extra more time. Was that part of the idea?
I don't know if he takes more time. I mean, I think at the end of the day, Vernon is a quarterback that gets rid of the ball quick too. Obviously, he's just maybe a little more athletic and is able to run around. But at the end of the day, you've got to build from your O-line and D-line, and those are the two of the positions that we were able to get offer contracts to and get the guys we wanted.
Rick talked about some of those guys from last year out playing their contracts and you guys not being able to keep them. What's that process for you guys? How do you go through who you'd like to keep? Who are you going to fit under that cap? What is that?
Yeah, honestly, on a personal level, it's more emotional than you'd think it would be because we do have a good relationship with a lot of the guys that will not be BC Lions next year, and they'll be playing for other teams. And we want to make it clear to them that we just so happy and excitable for them moving on with their football careers, but also that they're always going to be alumni, and it is tough to let go of players. But at the end of the day, we have to live within the salary cap world, and unfortunately, you have to pick and choose the guys that will make you go into the right to win. And so that process starts early. You talk to as many guys as you can, just let them know that unfortunately, there's not going to be a contract offer. We're not going to be able to meet the demands that you're looking for. And wish them luck. And when their careers end in the future, then we welcome them back as alumni and move forward.
How do you characterize the free agent moves that we saw across the league today?
Yeah, I think everybody. This is a day where teams got better. That's just the reality of it. at the end of the day, when you're a team that didn't make the playoffs, you have to maybe dip in a little bit, more than what you might want. A team like us who, feel that we have a good core group, we were able to add to what we wanted and add to complement the current, the group that we have. And I think that we've certainly be able to done that. And I'm sure other teams will be happy. Today, everyone's excited because their rosters are starting to build up. And, once you get to training camp, you see exactly what you have.
Can you share what the conversation like when you called Michael and say, hey, we want to sign you to the BC Lions? I mean, just when he spoke to us, you could see the genuine excitement to come back to this organization. What was that phone call like on the other end?
Honestly, to be quite honest, so one of the beauties of a guy like Michael Sure, he was really, it wasn't an easy decision for him. He had a lot of allegiance to his previous team, which is a guy you're going to get. He's going to have a lot of allegiance to us now, but to be quite honest, he was, it wasn't hook, line, and sinker. Like it was, we had to do some caressing to make it look like, hey, this is a good opportunity for you to play in front of your family and friends and to come to a good team that we're trying to build championship teams here. I know he was leaving a championship team, but guess what? We're going to build that, and it starts with a guy like him. But you know what? Yeah, once he made the decision to come, we were all excited, and I think he's excited too.
What excites you about McInnes?
I think the fact that he's got, when you're looking at receivers in the Canadian Football League and all pro football, you need to have good size and speed, and he brings that. So he's going to be able to come into camp and show us that he deserves to be, starting. We do have good receivers, though. We have Javon, we have, Scarfone, we have Peterman. We do have a good group of guys. He's just going to have to come in and compete, and all those guys come in. But I think he's a good addition to our team, too.
Specials were an issue last year. Coach just mentioned the fact that you're still pursuing free agents, hopefully to fill some holes there.
Yeah.
Are you close on any guys that you feel like you'll be able to make some additions given your cap situation?
I think so. We're going to continue to work the phones and see if we can get some deals done. We're sort of a day two team now. I mean, I know if you would have asked me last week, I would have said we were going to be a day two team. It just turned out that a couple of these options came available to us on day one. But now we're going to have to, see what falls free, and we're able to complement the group we have. We do have a good group of Canadian guys now, so now you're looking for guys to fill the holes of positions and backups, and if guys get hurt. So that's something you have to unfortunately look into.
One of the things as coach as well, improvement internally. I mean, you're going to have players on this roster right now that perhaps didn't play that big of a role last year, but next year you're hoping that they can fill the void that's left by some of the departures. Who are some of those players in your mind?
Yeah, and the reality is that when you keep on bringing young talent in, you're going to get better as the years go on. And like I said 2 years ago, this is a young football team that needs time to grow. Last year, I felt we did grow. And those guys that last year were going to their second year, now going into their third year, will just be as more dynamic and better. And so now it's time to start, filling in the lower end, because those guys are getting into their positions. And so we'll be able to do that. But again, it's up to our scouts, which I know they will bring in some good talent and complement the group we have.
Did you start watching McGinnis after that game against you guys last August?
Yeah, it's funny when you go into his Wikipedia page and look at what he's done. It's his big game was against the BC Lions. So yeah, not the reason, but certainly something to look back on.
Did you have to pay a premium for offensive line? Is the price gone up?
Yeah, at the end of the day, the offensive line is a premium. You got to protect your asset, which is your quarterback. So we paid market value for a player that we feel will come in and compete, and not more than compete, come in and make us even better and make us a solid football team, which is the reason why we had to do it or wanted to do it.